here.
All right.
She didn't send it.
You're good if you need.
No, it's okay. She didn't send it.
All right, we're waiting for the order. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to call this meeting to order of the Legislative Committee at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, August the 11th. Commissioner Jones, would you mind praying?
Sure. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time we have to come before you, Lord, and ask you just to bless us with knowledge, Lord. Help us know how to make decisions on these items for the county, Lord. Help us to do your will in this county. And I pray that you just keep your blessing on this county, or return your blessing to this county, Lord. Help us all to make wise choices. And we ask all these things in your name. Also, Lord, for those that are ill, we ask that you just be with them. Commissioner Moss, especially, Lord. We just ask that you be with him right now, Lord. And who's that?
And Jennifer.
And Jennifer, Lord. You know the needs, Lord, and you are the great physician. So we ask these things also, Lord. Amen.
Amen. All right. Do I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Shoaf, second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Approval of the minutes from July.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Teachner,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Recognition of the public. All right, you guys know the drill. When I call your name, come up. You got 5 minutes. Mr. Mike McClard.
Mike McClard, 102 Tioga Trail, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Under resolution of term limits, I think it's a great thing. I think 80% of the country when polled is in favor of term limits. I know I said it the last time we talked, but several years ago when Dr. Frisk ran for Senate, he said, if I'm elected, I'll run one more time. If elected, that's when I'm going to stop. He served 2 terms and retired. So, totally admire that. I've said for years, the only way we're going to save this country is with term limits. And we need them at all levels, not just certain ones, all of them. The resolution about allowing the public to comment, of course, I'm a big talker, so I'm always willing to comment. Not always makes sense, but at least I try to, and I really think that resolution should pass as well. State law, excluding county employees from being elected. You can get an argument for anything on either side of that. I personally think, though, that if you are voting on basically your own livelihood, it's wrong. You either needed to abstain or just not run. I'm totally in favor of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McClard. Mr. Kevin Baker.
Kevin Bigger, 44 A.B. Wade Road. I also support the term limit proposal and the public comment proposal, but I'd like to talk a little bit more about the other, what we're going to be discussing tonight about employees being able to serve on the legislative body. And some of you already know this history, so it's going to be, might be redundant, but at any other level of government, you cannot be on a legislative body and be an employee of that constituency. At the federal level, you can't do it. You can't be an employee of the federal government and serve in the Congress. At the state level, you can't do it, even at local level. But Tennessee has a big old gap. Now, back in 2015, Courtney Rogers tried to fix that. And there's been several pieces of legislation that have been tried to move through the state legislature and have been killed over the years, most notably by a gentleman named Tim Wergau, who was the chairman of the local government committee. Well, as a point of record, a certain individual named Bruce Griffey then ran against Mr. Wergau over in wherever Paris is, whatever county that is, and summarily beat the pants off an incumbent based on using that topic. People really don't like when they think that things aren't fair. Now, case in point, we had on this day in April 7, 2015, down at the local government committee I was talking about, we had 2 members of our local establishment, the current superintendent of schools and an individual who worked for Hendersonville and now worked, I believe, for the school board. They testified on behalf that you can't allow this to happen. You can't limit people from being there. Well, somebody else from Sumner County also happened to testify that day, and that was Laura Baker, at the bequest of the committee. My point is this: a lot of people in Tennessee, really, it's all about fairness. When they see an employee being able to vote on their pay, and people would argue that you can't do it, well, in 2019 we did, and we have the documented records of commissioners saying, oh, I've never gotten such a big increase in pay. Of course I'm going to vote for this budget that included a $4,000. So it's out there. This is real. It probably isn't going to go anywhere. I appreciate the effort that you all are putting in. Probably won't go anywhere, but people are listening. People are paying attention. And just like with term limits, oh, and Mr. Griffey now is now a judge over in that neck of the woods. So who knows? Maybe a lawsuit will come up one of these days.
Thank you, Mr. Biggert. Mrs. Laura Biggert.
Laura Baker, 424 A.B. Wade Road. I just want to commend all of you for having the guts to stand up here and put these 3 resolutions and voting for them. These are fantastic. Term limits, you know, obviously it's an optional thing, that self-limiting, but it's just great that people, you want to make people commit to that. As everybody's already said, that most people are really in favor of it. The allowing public comment, another thing, like you recognize that you're here to serve us and that you would generously offer to, and I'm all in favor of putting it at the end of the meeting, it doesn't have to be at the beginning. And then also in favor of the, your discussion, if you're gonna push through a resolution on that. As Kevin said, we've had problems with that. We had problems this month, or this past month, with people voting on their own pay, and that's just wrong. I do, as said, the fairness, the whole fairness thing, but I wanted to commend you. I want to say I'm in favor of all 3 of those, and I want to commend you and thank you for putting these resolutions up.
All right, thank you. All right, that concludes public comment. Thank you. For the chairman, I have none. For the county mayor, not here. Big surprise.
Where's he at?
I don't know. He's been here for a while. Old business, item A, this 3-star community grant application. I don't know if there's much for us to do on that, but I guess I'd like to make a motion for discussion real quick.
Second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Any opposed? I don't know if you guys saw the newspaper. I remember that when this came, we asked the mayor about this in this committee, like, because the main thing was about the convention center. And I mean, he literally said he was not familiar with the inclusion of a convention center in this grant. And then I went back and watched a video, and later in the same video, he said, well, he said that was just something a group was talking about, and how they want a conference center in Sumner County to attract more people. So there's no way of obligating the county, and there's no been talk of funding one or discussing funding one right now. And I think Commissioner Jones had asked, like, who the county leaders were, and the answer that was given was there's been no committee formed to research this. I'm like, that wasn't the question that you really asked. But and I bring this up because I was very surprised to hear a couple weeks later, reading the paper, where the county mayor literally said in front of a chamber that the goal of this 3-star grant program was the creation of a conference center. Literally several weeks after he said in this meeting that he didn't even know, one, that it was in there or part of that, or then he changed his tune and said, hey, it's just something that's kind of being discussed, to then admitting in a chamber thing that is part of the goal. And he literally said Sumner County is ready for a conference center. He said our county, or if I said convention, I meant conference center, our county could draw from all the conferences in Nashville. He went a step further, naming a specific location between Gallatin and Hendersonville with easy access from State Route 386. And this did not seem to be some kind of casual idea floated by some anonymous group called Then in Hendersonville. You know, researching and that at the same time it was brought up at BOMA to put that conference center right there on Stop 30 at 386, and the citizens of Hendersonville like rejected that. They were like kicking and screaming over that one, and BOMA I think unanimously rejected that plan. So I'm just a little confused on the contradiction here, or what I feel is false and misleading statements to this committee when we questioned about the three-star application grant program, one being a goal of, well, little did I know was also for the Smith Travel Research thing, what the Innovation Center. That was, I didn't know what that was. I asked what that was in June, and it was told it was like a, a daycare kind of thing, or, which is, it was misled there when I asked a question. So I just personally don't appreciate being misled or not things being truthful. And so, but I don't want to just state this on the record because this happened after our last meeting. I read this in the paper. I was like, wait a minute, like you said something totally opposite in committee. Commissioner Jones.
I would like to also add that venture with Hendersonville, looking at it, was done through Forward Sumner. They're the ones planning the meeting with the citizens for people to come out and ask questions about it. So that's someone who is in charge from the former administration of this county level that was working with county leaders who weren't us and weren't commissioners that were trying to get this thing passed. Oddly enough, the perfect place to probably put something like that is right next door to Forward Sumner on Greenlee, which is easy access to bypass and no traffic, no problems, not in the middle of a neighborhood, not in the middle of a rural section of the county, and none of that was considered.
Commissioner Shep.
I just, because I didn't read this, I have not read this paper article. So is this, I am very familiar because it's in my district with the, I represent the county. I represent the city at the county level, so it wasn't my fight to be had, but I'm very familiar with the conference center fight at BOMA. But are you saying that this three-star grant is laying the foundation for that?
Yeah.
I don't see how that, because that thing, it is dead on arrival. It's dead.
Well, but that was the stated goal of the three-star grant. That's why we questioned it back in June. But the county mayor really said at the end of July at a conference that the goal, literally, the third goal of the three-star program is the creation of a conference center. Sumner County is ready for a conference center.
I'm gonna just ask it next.
Yeah, well, I
during
was hoping he'd be here tonight for the legislative for us to ask him because, it's contradictory stuff. And so, and he said between Gallatin and Hendersonville with easy access from State Route 36. Well, that was where the Stop 30 is. That's the location that was being proposed concurrently with this. And then he pulled back the three-star grant and said it's already been taken care of from the state and just asked us to move it from the agenda, which the email's in this. So it was even more like, then why did it come to the commission to begin with if, you were able to bypass the commission altogether? So I just didn't appreciate being misled and saying, was not familiar with the inclusion of it, then to change the tune and say, oh, it's just something a group of leaders talked about, to, oh, okay, it's Fort Sumner.
If just to note here, I will, assuming I can get it added to the agenda in my committee, I'll just bring the question up and ask it flatly if the county mayor's here, if that's what it's for. Since
It's for a conference.
Yeah, it'd be good to get it on public.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you're gonna get a truthful answer because I have literally, if you watch the video documentation, saying one thing and then saying the opposite thing, and then saying something else publicly. So, I don't know which version you'll get, but you have some choices for sure. So anyway, I don't think there's anything for us to do with this. I remember we kept this on old business, but I'm glad that obviously BOMA voted this down, whatever this is. So I don't know if there's any action for us to take other than just dismissing this, removing from old business without objection. Any objection?
No objection.
So you are removing it?
Yeah, we're gonna remove it from old business. All right. Item B, Corson Master Services Agreement. Do I have a motion for approval or discussion?
Make a motion for discussion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That was Commissioner Teacher who made a motion and Commissioner Jones seconded it. All right. This was kicked back to old business. I don't know because this was added by the law director from at the table at the last minute and it wasn't on the published agenda. Mr. Law Director, do you want to speak anything to this? Have anything to add to this?
I do not, other than we've gone through it, they've agreed to our changes, and this is the final version.
Is there any, I don't see anything in here about any cost or any, what, do we have any
This is just a master terms and conditions, because we keep running into stuff that they submit, and we keep having to go through each contract every time they do this. This master service agreement will keep us from having to do that every
So
time
we're-
somebody wants to go through course and.
So I'm just trying to ask this, so what it's doing is, so you have like, you're gonna have a master services agreement that will cover like kinda like a school bus, and then statements of work are the different slots on the school bus.
Yes.
And so you want all of these things, you're just trying to not have to review.
Yes,
Every single time.
or if something happens to get through, we are in agreement that there is a master contract that governs all the
That is
work.
pursuant to, that you will execute pursuant to, okay.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
All right, got a motion approved by Commissioner Show. Do you have a second? Second by Commissioner Teacher. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that goes to full commission. All right, item A under new business, veteran service report and presentation. Mr. Oki is not here, it doesn't look like, so.
Motion to approve item B.
Motion to group and approve B, C, and D.
Well, so we have a motion to approve.
I want to make one change to C, just because I've done it
Okay.
to be consistent.
All right, so we have a motion to approve
Second.
item B. We have a
Second.
second by Commissioner Jones. All in
You
favor-
haven't done A yet?
Do we have to make?
He's not here.
Is that just for,
It's just for-
docketing, or do we need to make?
No, it's just docketing.
Yeah, so I
So
mean,
as
I
long
said
as
he's
y'all
not here.
understand,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
done with it.
Yeah, item A is
Okay.
docketing, Commissioner Show kind
It was
of
just
quickly
to
skipped.
Yeah, I'm just moving.
Jumped the moment. We have a motion by Commissioner Schoaf and a second by Commissioner Jones for the, move the resolution with term limits back to the full commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item C subsequent pursuant to a change that I'd like to make an amendment to it.
What's your move?
And the amendment is simply that these would be moved to that comments would be, it's the same one I did last time, that they would be moved to the end of the meeting.
Second.
That's my motion.
So, I'm just getting, I'm against that, so I'm gonna, I guess,
I'm just seconding it so we can get on our vote.
I'm against that particularly, but I don't wanna, I'm not voting against this. I guess I'm gonna have to make an amendment.
Well, here, let's do this. If you want to just, I'll withdraw if you just want to make a motion to approve it.
I'll make a
without-
motion to approve this.
Okay.
All right, so Commissioner Schoaf withdrew. I make a motion to approve.
Yeah,
And
I-
Commissioner
I'm-
Teacher makes a second. Now it's open
Now
discussion.
I
it's a
will,
clean amendment.
now I will make a motion to
All right, so
amend it.
your amendment is to amend this to move the public
to
comments
move
to the
the
end of the
public
meeting.
comments to the
To
end.
non-agenda items.
Correct.
All right, do we have a second for that?
I'll second it, but I have one.
All right, Commissioner
Thing I'd
Teacher,
like to-
second, open for discussion on the amendment.
So, the reason why that I've really been against it, I mean, I could be with it either way as long as the people get to speak. But the problem is that I've seen multiple commissioners leave our chambers without this even being in place. And what bothers me so much is if people are not getting heard even currently, if we go ahead and say, let's put it at the end, well, I could pretty much feel comfortable that the commissioners who are leaving already with the regular agenda items are leaving. They're not gonna stay for the people to speak. Now granted, it'll still be on video, but that's the part that bothers me. And that's why I wanted to discuss it. I'm not against, if that's the only thing that'll get it through, I want people to speak. I just don't, I would rather them be able to speak at the front, no matter how inconvenient it is to us, because of the simple fact that it just is what it is. And I think that one statement I want to make that would be, I understand the thought of, well, what if somebody comes and, kind of holds it up, for everybody to make it really tough on somebody? Well, they can do that now with agenda items. They can. And truthfully, if that's the case, it's just the case. We stay till it's done. But I mean, I believe that people should get heard while the chambers are full, as opposed to the chambers being empty and along with several of the seats in the actual representative body being empty before they get to speak. And that's my reason why I'm against it, but I'm still
Jones.
seconding.
I'm the same way. I'll vote, I'm probably gonna vote against this amendment here tonight, but I may vote for it if I read the room and see that that's the only way it's gonna get passed in the commission meeting, because I do want citizens to be heard at a meeting, but I think they have better chance of getting traction on their issue if it's read at the beginning of the meeting, if they're heard at the beginning. So I'm gonna hold out for that, but I may vote for this amendment if it gets done at the floor and I see that they've got the majority on that, because I want it to pass.
Commissioner Jones?
So likewise, if my amendment doesn't pass, which doesn't look like it will, I'll pass this on, but I'm gonna make the same amendment on the floor, and I wanna give them a rationale for why. And we just went through this, right? We were at, some people might have noticed I was testy at the end of this last meeting, right?
Give me red.
Yeah, so, here's the thing, we're humans, we are human beings, and we are fallible, we are not the Almighty. And so, when you are in those cases where we have certain things we have to get done, right? We are obligated by law to get certain things done, and I recognize, I try to recognize my own limits. So yes, we can all say we can be out there till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but the ability to operate at good sense rapidly diminishes over time, right? So you don't just want to get the people's business done, you want to get it done well. And you're going to do a lot better getting it done well at 9 o'clock than you are at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now look, to your point, we've had people come, we can make a meeting go till 1 o'clock in the morning, it happens all the time anyway. So this is probably a moot point. I am trying to, I have always voted to let people speak more than they could. I want this to happen, but I've got to balance that against recognizing that if somebody wanted to weaponize it, the same 30 people from the Right to Read group could come and do this and use this every single time in order to postpone things till midnight every single time. And I don't think that is giving the county the best service. So that's why I'm trying to balance the desire to have people be heard liberally. I know that I mean broadly, but with the practicality of trying to actually execute things smartly. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm going to make it here, but I'm not going to hold this up. I'll vote for it if my amendment doesn't pass, and then I'll bring it up again on the floor.
Mr. Teacher.
This is not an amendment, but a suggestion that I believe could make all of us feel comfortable with either way. Because if this were to pass exactly as it is, and people get to speak, if that were to ever be the case, I don't think it would, but I don't know everything either. So if it were to ever be the case, it could easily say recognition of the public on agenda items, recognition of the public on non-agenda items. And if that filled up so full, then it would be at the chairman's, desire or discretion to say, hey, without objection, or even take a vote on it, that we could move it to the end if there happened to be an overwhelming amount that still would get to speak. But that would be something that could be at the end. If it were something that seemed like it was that on purpose. I don't know.
Or limit the time.
I mean, I don't think
I
we need to
wouldn't,
make
I
an
don't think it
amendment.
will be, but I mean, if you got all the.
Honestly, I think we just roll with this, and it's gonna, I have my amendment, it's not gonna pass, and then we'll pass up, and then what's gonna happen on the floor is gonna happen. So.
I can guess what's gonna happen on the floor, but it's not this point.
Well, look, we're trying.
Anyway, any more discussion on this item? All in favor, we're on the amendment, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
No. You have 3 noes and 1 aye. All right, back to the main motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously on the main motion. All right, that goes to the full commission. Again, second month in a row. Item D,
Make a motion we approve.
motion by Commissioner Teacher to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That way we won't have to worry about the.
Motion to approve item E.
Argue on this one?
Well, do we, I mean,
Oh, we've already voted.
we already voted for
We're
it.
done.
Motion to approve item E.
Got a motion by Commissioner Schoaf. Do we have a second?
Hang on, I'm reading. Yeah, second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Opioid legislation, state resolution. This was asked by Dustin, sent this to us, asking us to pass this via the state. So
Can you give us the gist of it? Just
I can.
I'll have a motion for discussion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Lauder.
This is the ability for us to allow the state to act on our behalf and to also, I believe we're working towards getting me authority and the mayor to be able to execute documents without having to keep running stuff through committee and commission, because we're in the middle of a bankruptcy proceeding on one of the main bankrupt pharmaceutical companies. The family's trying to get out of the Sackler family.
Oh,
And
woe is me.
They're moving it quick, so we just don't have the time and we need a
Motion.
resolution.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoaf to approve, and second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good.
That's for that specific thing, right?
Opioid legislation. the state
Opioid-related
legislation.
matters, yes.
So,
I mean, that specific case is what I meant. Not in general for the next 30 years.
no, this is,
I mean, this is about the bankruptcy.
About
That
that
the
specific
state's,
case.
the state's running it, it's
Yeah.
just letting us move it quicker.
Okay.
all right, item G, do I have a motion for discussion for the state law?
Motion.
Motion by
Motion,
Commissioner
second.
Teacher, second by Commissioner Schoaf. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Commissioner Teacher.
I was gonna say, thanks for putting this on here. The reason I requested it is because I believe there's a couple of things.
What are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Item G.
Item G.
Didn't it just pass?
No, that was item F, opioid legislation.
We're on the
We're on item G.
employee not being allowed to
Discussion
serve.
request for state law change
I thought we
excluding.
just approved that one,
No,
so we didn't
no,
do that one,
no.
okay.
I'm gonna read it.
Opioid
Request-
legislation.
Item G is a discussion, the request for state law change excluding county employees from elected county office. And we had a motion, we had a second, we voted for discussion. Commissioner Teacher.
Yes, sir. And so the reason why I believe this should be on here is because, first of all, nobody wants to have somebody who has, it is unethical to vote on your own or even against your own race. It's not really fair or right to have to do that. It's an odd predicament to be in. I believe it muddies the water and it makes it where that the people are easily not believing. If there's any congressman or anybody like that was doing that, I would feel like they were being super dishonest, and I wouldn't like it. It would feel unethical. It would be unethical. So there's that. Number two, my wife used to work for Sumner County, and I abstained because of the ethics of it. I always abstained. I was the only one, and then there was even a moment when I was laughed at by our chairman for abstaining. And it was the ethical thing to do, and I still stood up and did it. And I'm not saying it as I need some martyr award, because I mean, that's nothing that people have to put up with. But the problem is that if our chairman currently, or our chairman previously, before we were in office, or maybe our chairman before that, or the chairman after that, we shouldn't make it willy-nilly based on how the chairman feels, or whether or not we're county employees or our spouses are employed. I just believe that we shouldn't leave it up for interpretation at all. And I think that we do the right thing, and we vote to not allow anyone who's directly related or their spouse is related to it. I mean, we could go further, but that's pretty accurate. I mean, because we've all got families that'll be employed and everything like that we can still make a good case to abstain. But that's a whole different point. Just come down to the fact of just we step out of it if we have anything financially involved, and it's what we should have done all along. But if we're not going to uphold that, I think that we shouldn't be able to run at all. And so that way it just leaves out of the equation. Nobody feels misrepresented, and it's just a very honest, fair thing. So
Commissioner Schoaf.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I'm probably for this. I need to think about it a bit, and I want to give again context here.
Just for clarification, this is not this would be a resolution.
Yeah, I
You're
reckon.
just asking the state.
I reckon. I
I don't think
understand.
we have a- I don't
Well,
think
but
we have
that's
a
actually
product.
my point here.
Petition to
That
the
that it's at the state level, and here's my point. I was just out this weekend out in Lauderdale County, and I mean, so Lauderdale County is far west Tennessee, and they have a very different set of problems than Sumner County does, and frankly, I probably would disagree. I think this committee might disagree with me on some of this stuff. I think, they would, if Blue Oval would have tried to come here, you'd have had riots. They, out in West Tennessee, just really want it out there because they're not much economy out there, and frankly, we are very lucky to have the problems we have. I'm not saying that we don't have problems. We do. There are problems associated with growth, and you don't you don't want to become Metro Atlanta. That's the problems we got to deal with. But what I'm saying is they would love to have our problems.
They need jobs.
They would love to have our problems. Now, what does that have to do with this? When you're talking about these really small counties, you may actually have a situation where you get to a point where it's very difficult to get. In theory, I agree with this, and maybe it's still the right thing to do anyway because it forces citizens to be involved. But it does, when you're talking about a really small counties like this, it's difficult to get anybody to get in any of these seats. So I think that is likely why the states, the state level doesn't allow it, but allows it at the county level. And again, I'm not, like I said, I would probably support a resolution doing this because I think the juice is worth the squeeze, but I would need to really think about it because it's important to understand that Sumner County is not Lauderdale County, and I don't know that we necessarily want to inflict our way of doing things on statewide. We would I really need to think about it elsewhere. That's, again, I think I'm probably for it, but I would really want to think on it.
Commissioner Joe?
I just wanted to give this committee, in particular Commissioner Shove, something else to think about too. I hear everything he's saying and good points on all of it. But we are one of the counties in the state that has the largest size county commission. And so with lower numbers, it's a lot easier to find people to serve. Extended family members of those in government can still serve in those communities that have small communities that know what's going on with economic development and that can help, but it takes that direct possibility for corruption out of the loop, the conflict of interest for the vote, it takes that out of it. And with smaller populations, and you have a lot smaller threshold for county commissioner numbers, I don't think it'd be a problem. So I hope that's something you can think about and maybe other people will think about when this comes to a vote, because I believe in it.
I'll add to, so this law, this is an example what's in your packet on page 66. It was from 2020 or 2019, I think. Yeah, it would have been from 2019, or the first part of 2020 legislative session. So it's at least 5 or 6 years old. And again, as they said in public comments, versions of this have been trying to be passed through the state legislature since probably 2015, 2016. But I have heard those arguments before. It's the same arguments. Well, the smaller counties, rural counties. I'm just going to tell you, like, the state constitution only requires 9 county commissioners at a minimum, and Sumner County is one of the largest county commissions in the state of Tennessee, in Williamson County, and so I just don't believe any rhetoric or argument or logic that you wouldn't find 9 people in a county to serve on a county commission. I just don't believe it because there's a vacuum that people love to fill those voids, and good or bad, and so. For one thing, but a second thing is, I mean, it's pretty. This is also stated in public comments, is that at no other level of government in the United States of America does this happen except at the county commission level in Tennessee.
That's for a reason.
Yeah.
Federal level, you cannot be a federal employee and run for Congress. You cannot be a state employee and run for state representative or state senator, and you can't be a city employee and run for city alderman or you can't. It's only the county commission level. It makes no sense. All it is, I think, what it is ingratiated is a sense of political bureaucratic elitism in these smaller rural communities, especially where Bubba Joe and Billy John they're controlling everything. They're controlling their budgets. They got all their buddies working for them, and we see that good old boy system happen here in Sumner County. It's a big county. It's even worse, I believe, in smaller counties. And so several things need to happen, in my opinion. The state level is one. Because it's a gross conflict. It should be criminal that you're voting on you get elected to serve in an office where you directly benefit your own financial status and you can tax citizens to benefit yourself. That should be criminal. I think it's unethical. I mean, it's just wrong. And obviously the federal government, state government, city government feel the same way, and so does the state of Tennessee. I think that's just very wrong. Also, several things would happen in smaller counties, and the problem where you get these political entrenchments. One reason we got term limits in I'm putting this One is because term limits are extremely popular. 9 out of 10 Henderson voters, 8 out of 10 Gallatin voters, over 82% of Americans, Democrat, Republican, Independents, want term limits. All elected offices. So if you were to have term limits, you were to have county employees cannot run for county positions to benefit themselves financially. And you're also to close the primaries in Tennessee. I guarantee you to have a lot more cleaner and a lot more people coming forward in all counties in the state of Tennessee for elections, in my opinion. And so I think there's several things. This is just on this agenda, two chips at it. Maybe we do a resolution asking the Tennessee General Assembly to close primaries, or do party registration. I hear, but I don't buy into that logic argument, because that's logic. That argument's been used at the state level every time it's come up. Well, these smaller, they can only find people from the highway department or the public works department or planning department to run, and I just don't believe it. I just think that's just an excuse to keep that power base in control in these smaller. Because look at the smaller counties. The smaller counties in West Tennessee and East Tennessee, the smaller they are, the more, a lot of times, historically, they've been more rife with corruption and cronyism, even more so than the larger counties. Larger counties, I think you just hide it better, to be honest with you. I think it happens. But that's just my thoughts. I fully support this. I'm glad Commissioner Teacher brought it up, but no offense, I don't believe that. I've heard those arguments multiple times.
Like I said, I think I'm probably in support of it. I try to chew on something for a bit before I know where I stand on term limits, right? I've thought about that I've put a lot of thought into that. This is a little bit different when I think in principle, I think I'm probably for it. If we were to do something, I wouldn't want to vote on it right now. I wouldn't chew on it. That would be, I'd abstain if there was a vote on it now. I just want to chew on it.
Call the question.
Well, I don't know that there's anything to be. Is there any?
Commissioner Teacher?
I was going to make a motion we approve.
Oh, we got a motion to approve.
Can I jump in here?
Okay.
I just this is a great example of the term limits, and I've been having some commissioners that have been having trouble wrapping their brain around the term limits aspect and have everybody wanting to say it's unconstitutional. The commission is a constitutional office. However, the qualifications for that position can be regulated by the state. You all seem to grasp that pretty well with this excluding county employees. So you all agree that that's a qualification parameter that the state can weigh in on.
Correct.
That's the same thing with term limits. We're saying you're not qualified if you've exceeded a term threshold. That's why we're able to petition the states through a private act to do that. I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to jump on there since everybody was clued in on what the actual dynamic was here, so I will shut up.
Can you be sure to say that at the commission meeting?
I tried to say it last time, but
that was very concise.
The point is, when it comes to term limits, I'll give you an example. Just because a representative CTAS says something doesn't make it true. Straight up. That happens all the time. Commissioner Teacher and I were told something incorrectly by somebody from CTAS that, if a state law was passed in 2024 that prohibited county employees from voting on a budget that they directly benefited from. Well, that was partially accurate information in a grossly inaccurate manner, because there was a part B to that said basically, or if they just say they vote their conscience, and then they can vote on budgets that directly affect them, which I think, again, is unethical. You should not be able to vote on, and the same thing with being a county employee, but we're going back to CTAS just giving bad information. I don't think CTAS actually read that Supreme Court's decision, because I read it, and it's in here. There's no way you could read that and come back with a conclusion that only applies to charter counties. With a lawsuit from two Memphis Shelby County commissioners against Shelby County saying against the term limits is unconstitutional. Also, it was about them, and the Supreme Court did rule that not only is it constitutional they can do this, also the Supreme Court of Tennessee ruled that it is under the purview and authority of the Tennessee General Assembly. One of the conditions of an elected office is terms, and that is basically what they said, and that is a duty of. And so the General Assembly has the ability to ascribe to a county's term limits should they choose or ask. We're a kind of a just common general law county, so we would have to ask that via private act. If we were a charter or kind of county, we wouldn't have to do that. We could just do it ourselves and pass it. So, but we're not a charter county. So the only way we can do things for Sumner County is kind of like do with the private act we passed for the no greenways along certain stretches of properties. That was a private act, privately to Tennessee. The Tennessee General Assembly had that authority. Same thing for happens for term limits. I mean, it is woefully inaccurate and wrong to say that the Tennessee State Constitution or the Supreme Court said that Sumner County couldn't do term limits. That's just crazy. I mean, you cannot read the actual Supreme Court case and logically come back to that conclusion. I actually asked several private attorneys and sent this to them, asked them the question, just said, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with this opinion? And read this case, and pretty much, without a doubt, they agreed. Sure, this court case says that, yes, the lawsuit was about a charter county being able to do term limits. It is a charter county can do term limits. That says nothing about a general law county not being able to do term limits. And so it's just a ridiculous assumption that you wouldn't be able to do that. And so, again, the biggest thing is, which is so weird, we got sent that Supreme Court decision. If you read the Supreme Court decision, it actually debunks what was said by CTAS and only further strengthens the position of we can do this. And the General Assembly can do this. So we're just asking, you have to have 16 votes to do a private act, ask the General Assembly to do it. Which I guess begs a good question. Something like this would, I don't know, Mr. Law Director, the question, could Sumner County do a private act asking the General Assembly to prohibit county employees from being elected to county office?
Well, it's a qualification, so I think you would, yes.
So the same thing, so we could do a private act.
And that would only apply to this county?
If it's a private act, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I'm assuming, but I haven't necessarily researched that. Yeah, I did research the term limits. I know that we can do that, but I haven't researched as far as a private act on county employees. So,
Then I make a motion that we amend this to
well, we don't have really a resolution yet. So.
to request. I know. I'm saying we're just discussing it, but that we amend this discussion. I guess I'd like to make a motion. I don't know if I can even do this. If I can't, stop me. But I'd like to make a motion that we make the request, and along with that, we say, if they don't want to bring it forward for the entire state, would they be willing to support a private act?
We can't dictate what the state takes up. We can only ask them on our behalf to act on something.
I'm gonna make an amendment. Well, anyway, sorry.
No, that answered my question.
Oh, is there a motion?
I think there was a motion to.
I'll make a,
Motion.
did you make?
A motion to approve to send this as a resolution asking as a request. But
I'll make an amendment. I would like to request the law director or our law office to draft a private act that does,
Second.
it's basically
Yeah,
the same thing, but
that's
just
what I
for
was
this
trying to
county,
ask.
and then we will take it up in the subsequent meetings. That's my,
Is it something we
The-
could get done before?
That's what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear, the private act would be for whatever the resolution says. So
but the
that we
resol-
would be crafting a resolution for which,
but let me be clear here. The way I'm reading this is that it's a change to state law that's statewide.
no, it is not.
It's, so,
Well, the discussion.
Okay.
I want to, I
Was
just
a
want,
request, the motion by Commissioner Teachner was to approve a resolution to go to the full commission next week, asking the state to change the law statewide. That was his motion.
If
Yes.
that's separate from what we started out with.
because that's what it says. It says,
I understand.
I'm just reading what's in front of me, and it says, Tennessee Code annotated section 5-502 is amended by deleting and substituting. This is a countywide change.
This is
I'm-
statewide. This is an old bill.
Right, so what I'm suggesting here in my amendment
That's
is,
what I was wanting to do.
is to craft a private act that puts this into effect, but just for Sumner County for consideration.
Then that's
That was what I was
That's
just
my
asking.
error, because that's what I understood us to be working under the whole time, was to achieve a private act just for this county, making it to exclude county employees from elected county office. Is that not what we've been talking about?
Can I?
That's just not what I'm reading.
Well, this was used, I believe, this is just something to go off of.
Okay, here's, I mean,
This is
here's
what I can say what I
we
want.
made a motion to discuss.
Uh-huh.
He made a motion to send this as a resolution to ask the state to do
Okay,
this.
and
But it
if
wasn't a
that's the
private act.
case, that's
So he's
what I
amending it,
misunderstood, but
yeah.
I can do that as well.
Correct, well,
Whichever
that's-
way you wanna go.
There's a motion by Commissioner Schoaf to actually now request this be a private act for Sumner County.
That's what I
And I
just.
seconded that.
That's
Yeah.
what I just requested though, and he said I couldn't because he was thinking I was asking the same thing twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand what I mean?
I'm clear now, but
Yeah.
Commissioner Jones.
It makes sense.
I want to be clear, Commissioner Schoaf was asking him to research to do this. I would like it to be a decision made in this committee so that it comes before the full commission with this being the draft for the private act. You okay with that?
But that's not it have to be totally, the wording will have to be totally different.
This isn't, you understand this is a state law, we're not using the same thing.
I understand that the verbiage at the top would be different, but it would apply to our county only, so the essence of it would be the
Here's-
same. It'll just apply to our county.
Here's
How much research does it take to make that language reflect our county instead of the whole state?
Not much.
So can that be the gist of what we're saying here in the resolution, so that it comes up Monday night?
Let me be very clear.
I want us to get out in
We-
time.
We're
Hold on a
we're
second.
getting procedurally out of whack here. We're right now talking about moving
We have an
a
amendment.
resolution to the state, asking the state to make a law change.
Well, now,
State-
I have
now we have an
amended that.
amendment.
I have an
Okay,
amendment to
now
that.
we've got an amendment.
Correct.
And that
So we're good.
amendment is to pursue this as a private act
Correct.
specifically for this county.
And I seconded it. We're good.
Okay, so what
Yes.
next?
That's it.
I'm asking, when is this gonna come up?
Monday.
Will it be draftable by Monday?
I can get something together.
Yeah.
But I want the commission to have time to read it before Monday, so is it
Well,
gonna be
it's gonna be on the
properly
agenda.
It has
noticed?
to be on the
Okay.
agenda.
It's gonna be on the agenda. Comes out
Great,
Thursday.
okay, then I'm good with it. That's all I wanted to ask.
And my
You good
one
with that?
request to that, when I made that amendment, was
Is it a
that,
second yet?
when I tried to make that amendment, whatever, it doesn't matter how it happened, but I'm saying, I want it to be where the state law has the option to be passed, and the private act has the option to be passed.
That's where you're
because-
commuting things. I'm
Just
gonna
muddy it
rule
up.
that out of order.
Okay, got it. But,
So
but
we're
you
just-
understand, that's, I just wanna make sure
I do,
that
but it's out of
we were
order.
clear on what it was.
We're gonna call it-
Long
we're
as
gonna-
it, long as,
I'm
we
giving you
can-
knife hands on that
As
one.
long as we can vote on folks
Command
not,
hand.
not working and voting on the same budget, I'm good.
No, that would be out of order for that one.
And by the way, I'm gonna make this comment. I'm gonna move this, and again, I'm probably gonna vote for it. But I'm gonna have to make sure that I really understand the implications of it, even for here. I think I'm for it, and that's how I would like to see it pursued, but what I'm saying is that there are.
You wouldn't have county employees voting to raise property taxes so they can benefit financially, like it's happened for the past 10 years.
No, but whenever you're making a big change, I just wanna think through it. But I'm probably for it. I just gotta think.
One last clarity. How many folks are currently in this county by the census? Ballpark.
230,000.
30?
230,000?
225, something like that.
There was 200 and,
227, I think, something like that.
in 5 years, we've grown 30,000 people.
Yeah, it's like 220,000 people. We have
Okay, so
something like that.
220,000 people,
It's-
and we elect around 50. So I'm just saying, we probably
Here-
can find that
Here's the
percentage
thing,
elected, if that's the case.
I'm just being, I mean, look.
I'm just saying.
I am probably for a thing, right? But when you're making a change, there may be good reason that I'm not understanding that it's there. And I know, I can think of a good reason for the 207, okay, I thought it was 207.
2023 is 207,900, 208,000.
I just want to make sure that whenever you make a change, there are second and third order consequences, and I want to make sure. I'm the guy who make the motion. I mean, I want to see it go forward. I just
I think it's a great idea.
I just
I love it.
want to make sure. Anyway, there's a motion.
Commissioner Jones.
If you, I would just want to ask, if you find out what implications would keep you from voting on this, I ask that you please share it to the whole commission to
100%.
enlighten everybody else.
As you know, I am not shy about sharing
Well,
the commission.
there's so many, you're probably the only one, because there's several people that will vote against something and not tell why. And it just looks very
I will
wrong.
say why.
Please, for the love of God, if you do it by email, do not deliberate.
No, I want to hear it in the commission floor. where it's
So
supposed
we
to
got
be.
an amendment is to basically
Turn to a private.
Yeah.
ask the state
Yep.
to create a private act for Sumner County that would
I like it.
preclude county
Yep.
employees from being elected officials, the same as the federal, state, and cities to mirror
We got a
other
second.
elections. Yeah, I was a second, he was the
Yep.
motion maker.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
just
it.
restating that,
That's
so.
that's it.
All in favor and say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
We need to do the main. just
And the main
because-
motion without amendment, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Can I?
Motion to approve, 10A.
But before we, can I make a motion to discuss?
Whose
What?
motion is this?
10A,
Sure.
We have a motion and a second on 10A. All right, all in favor say aye to
Aye.
discuss.
Aye.
Okay, what is the discussion on 10A?
Will you remind me so I'm not out of order?
Commissioner Teacher made the motion to discuss, and I think Commissioner Show, or Commissioner
I
Show made the motion
yeah,
to.
that's fine. I made the
approve,
motion to approve.
And Commissioner
So-
Teacher made a motion to second to approve it. Now we're in
I'll
discussion.
tell you what make sure I'm not out of order on this. I don't believe I am.
Debate.
The winning side can call back,
Move to reconsider.
move to reconsider.
Correct.
So, okay, I want to make a motion, we reconsider somewhere in this point before we adjourn. And I don't know where to tell it. without-
Reconsider what?
The
On
agenda.
10A?
The approval of the agenda.
Okay, so just don't adjourn, let's finish this.
Yeah, we'll
item,
finish this
though.
and I won't.
And then we won't
Yeah,
adjourn.
please
I have a
do that.
question on this item.
Okay, then I'm
All
done.
right. So the item 10A is the Commission Proclamation for Overdose Awareness Day. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Nope, I said I have a question on this item.
Okay, Commissioner Jones.
Who brought this?
This was from
proclamation?
Dustin in opioid committee.
Okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I'm ready to vote.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Commissioner Teacher.
I make a motion, we reconsider the agenda, and I'll tell you why. In order to sum up this section and to make a request of the state to change the law and close our primaries.
All right, we have a motion to reconsider the agenda.
So you're saying to add an item to the agenda?
Yeah, and send a resolution to state, just go ahead and do it because it's what's needed in this.
What is,
We have a motion to reconsider.
Just because it fits
Do we
well
have a
with
second
all
to
of this, is what
reconsider?
he's saying.
I'm not gonna second.
We have a second to reconsider.
I'll second.
All right, we have a second to reconsider. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Fine, aye.
Okay, we have four. All right. We have a motion to reconsider the agenda, to add a new agenda item. And what is your new agenda item?
Item H, I request that we send a resolution to our state legislators in order to close our state primaries, requesting.
I'm in the queue.
Well, we haven't got a second for that yet. We've got a motion to
I'll
open.
second just to get in the queue.
All right, we got a motion second for
we
discussion.
gotta approve this agenda first.
Oh,
I'll
Yeah.
make a motion to approve the agenda.
second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I don't think we're gonna negate anything we've already done, are we? We just go back and approve all these.
Item H.
I mean, this is unorthodox. I've never seen this happen.
Very
so-
much so.
I like it.
You bring up a good point. You might want to just do some catch-all that says all prior approved.
I'd make
or
a
still
motion,
approved.
I make a motion that all prior decisions are approved subsequent to
Second.
this agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That carries unanimously. All right, Commissioner Teacher wants to add an agenda item, was seconded by Commissioner Jones, to send a resolution to the State General Assembly asking them to close primaries.
Primaries.
All right, Commissioner Jones.
So this could be done as easy or as drug out and be as difficult as the state wants it to be, because I've heard state reps ask this question when they're presented with this many, many times. How do you suppose we do that?
Do
How do
party
you want us to do
registration.
this?
It's called party registration, which
Yeah.
other
But
states
we're not
do.
They
giving
do it in
direct.
Kentucky all the time.
We're not giving direct orders on how to do it or requests on how to do it. So is this enough is what my question is, just by
That's-
saying that.
Can I,
Commissioner-
so I agree. Here's the thing. I mean, let's be.
I'm for
And this
it.
is. I'm generally for a lot of this stuff, but I mean, I'm going to call us all out here a little bit. Like we know what we're doing. We're putting stuff forward right now that because we know that some shifts are about to happen. Right? I just make everything open, and it's okay to talk about it.
That's like last opportunity.
And
I have
and I'm like a lot of this has been like the term limits has been clearly, Mr. Mansfield has thought through that. Like these things are, some of these are, I'm fine with doing stuff when they're well thought out and like well brought out. But like this is out in the middle. This comes out of left field. We talked about it before. That's fine. I mean, just because I've said this before. Like I hate being under the gun to vote for something, and just because we're under the gun for reasons that we don't like, doesn't make it good policy. All the questions that Commissioner Jones just asked, are highly relevant. We don't have any of those things fleshed out. Very different than what has been written about the term limits, right? Very different than what we're talking about with the speaking on non-agenda items. We've seen this, it's written out, we understand what it is. So I'm not gonna be for this, not because I'm against it, but because we don't have, it's last minute, we don't have anything to look at physically. And if it was the other side of stuff thrown at us, we know very well we wouldn't be doing this, so.
Mr. Jones?
So to that, I'll ask, somebody mentioned, I overheard, I don't know who it was, one at the table or the other, that other states do it, so-and-so state does it. I wanted somebody to say with the same formula that so-and-so does. That's all I wanted, was to be added to this directive that we're asking the state to do. Can anybody just offer that up? Just make it like
Make an
so-and-so state. Now, I don't know what amendment to make, because I don't know what state does it.
The state executive committee already approved it for the Republican Party.
So the state executive committee for the Republican Party of the state of Tennessee already has something written. I guess we could take a look at and use the draft, the language that the Tennessee GOP convention, or whatever you call them, what they did, their language that they sent to the state General Assembly, which did get shot down. But so they've obviously, so I guess maybe you'd want to adopt the same language as the state just to make it applicable to Sumner County, since that's already been worked through.
Well, we're not making it applicable to Sumner County, we're asking them to do it for
That's
the whole
the
state.
statewide.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. But it's you're asking a language, but obviously if the state GOP has already thought through this language, they've already presented the language of what they want the state law to look like. It exists as a template, I guess.
And that would be a good thing to say, use that, but I don't know what that is yet, so we don't have it.
Yeah, we don't have it.
I want to present something, because I want to do this, but.
Mr. Lawler.
I appreciate where y'all are coming from with this, but if you're looking for a resolution to vet this out on the commission floor Monday,
Yeah.
y'all are crazy. I mean, I could put it together, but you all will be there beating this up for hours, and we don't even have answers to your questions here.
Well, I appreciate Mr. Commissioner Teacher. I understand the spirit of what he's doing, because I mentioned this as one of three things to help as far as when you get into county employees, not having that conflict of interest. One of them being closing primaries and have party registration. So I might make a recommendation to, keep this on legislative and old business for next month.
Yeah, let's put it on old business.
To come up with draft, we can work and send draft resolution to the law director.
And I can
forward
bring something to you.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that this month, it could be on the agenda in September, so.
Well, I was gonna make a suggestion, one thing, because one thing, I've spoken with Johnny Garrett, our state rep, my state rep. I told him it was important to me. I've wanted to do this the whole time. I think it's extremely important, because, it didn't just come up. I was literally kicked off the ballot because it wasn't closed primaries. It just is what it is, but and so I believe that it's the most important thing for the people to get what they want. And I think that it doesn't need to stay on, in my recommendation, it doesn't stay on old business. I think it needs to be voted through so that it can be, we don't need it. Remember, Mr. Hyde said over and over, we can sell the courthouse, we can sell the county building with 13 votes. So we don't need to wait. The reason why I don't think we need to is, I would just suggest that we use the exact language that was brought before, of the executive committee, and just send that exactly forward. We don't have to worry about it.
Commissioner Jones?
I would not vote for that, because I don't know what that language is. It
Exactly.
may be too weak, and I may not
know
like
what it looks like.
I may want to amend it, but in essence, we're talking semantics here. We're either going to argue this out on the commission floor, or we're going to argue this out 2 weeks later in a new committee that we may not be sitting on. And either way, we're going to see how the other half of the commission feels about this. It's going to be on old
We
business.
know how it's gonna happen. We know.
I understand that, and it's
They're
going to be
gonna
on
have
old
to vote
business.
from
It's going to be
across the
presented.
Democrats.
It's going to be presented by the law director with options, and if they vote it down, that's probably the way it was going to go next Monday night anyway. So I'm okay with leaving it on old business.
Yep.
I'm gonna support leaving it on old business. If we want to vote on it.
I'm going to vote no on that, but the reason why I'm making one more suggestion and plea to this body is because of the fact that all we have to do is send forward the old, because do you think, has anything ever gone through without there being amendments on the floor? If it's the problem
Well, if it
is,
can get to the floor, it gets pulled every month.
yes, but if the problem is that there's not time to get something together, then that's problem solved. Check, done. We've already got some legislation that's been, some writings that can be sent forward. Number two, we just go ahead and adapt it and amend it because that will be able to be included on the agenda and our people can say, I want this, I don't want this, take this out, put it in, and then we can actually vote on it. I'm pretty passionate about it because I feel like it's the moment that we should put it forward. And then if it doesn't get passed, it doesn't get passed. That's just what I'm saying.
Commissioner,
Call question.
Question's been called. Do I have a second? I don't have a second, so.
Is there any more discussion?
Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so,
Doesn't matter.
So, did you have a motion?
Yes,
Or did you get an amendment to, there's been no motion, I don't think it's a motion on the floor, so do you have a motion?
I make a motion
To push it to the full
that we
commission?
push it to the full commission using the language that is still amendable, but using the language that was used by the executive committee and publish that in an agenda. So be it. And I second it.
You can't second your own thing.
I'll second it for a vote. Commissioner Jones?
I just can't support that, and because it may get passed, and I don't like what's in it. I want to read it before it goes to the commission. So I know where your heart is, and I
Okay, I'll make
appreciate
an
you doing
amendment to
that.
I make an amendment to my motion.
Okay.
I make a motion that we state a resolution that says we would like to close our primaries, period.
What is it?
I mean, you can do that, but I still like,
And then it can be amended from there.
let's, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, so here's my recommendation. I make a motion that
Leave it on old business.
we leave it on old business.
Second.
But we craft language
Second.
to actually read what the state put out, so we can, listen to what those objections and arguments are. Then we go, we can do this week or next week. So just that is part of the resolution to answer what Commissioner Jones brought up, like what does that mean, closed primaries? What does it mean to have party registration? What does that mean, and what is it like as a model blue? And if the state GOP has already done that, it's great, but we haven't read it. I think it's a great idea, but that'd be my motion. Obviously, Commissioner Jones made good points,
I agree with
things seem to get removed, but it doesn't stop you from bringing it up from the floor either. So, because committees just get bypassed all the time now. So, you might make a motion to get rid of committees and just at this point.
I want to make a motion to do budget because
So, anyway, so I made a motion to move this whole business with the law director helping craft. I'll work with you on crafting something to get to legislative on the agenda.
You already got a second.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I
Any
discuss
opposed? Yeah.
before?
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to support this, and I don't want to look willy-nilly, but I actually agree with Commissioner Jones and y'all. But I just feel like that it should happen, and I'm afraid it'll get squashed. That's my only point.
I'm with you.
But I'm
I
all in.
totally agree.
I'm voting for it to be on old business, and I'm not changing my vote.
Listen, we had
I'm
over
just pleading.
2,000 Democrats cross over and vote in the Republican primary last year to put the most liberal progressive people on ballots in seats that are, so it happens. That's what open primaries do. You weaken the ballot, and that's why Democrats don't run or win in some of the counties. They don't have to.
My Democrat opponent was one of them.
Yeah, so exactly. So, it is what it is, but I agree. I think the purity of it, I think we all agree with it.
I agree with everything you're all saying.
All right, so, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have one more.
motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, motion to adjourn.
All right, 5-minute break, then we'll do.
I didn't vote. We didn't have
5-minute
a
break, then we'll do
It's
budget.
been a pleasure.
I didn't vote. We're still in
I
this.
didn't second it.
We're still in this.
I want to say one thing, because I just want to
Oh,
close primary. The opposite applies, because you gave it, Tim, you gave it Chris Spencer's, I voted for him.
Well, that's what I'm.
And I didn't vote for Hale, which was the popular thing, so it goes both ways, not just his definition of Democrats. I think you all need to start looking at serving all the people instead of your little group.
Okay.
Because you're getting really unpopular, but I
Well,
voted
that's
for
what I-
because Chris spoke to me.
Right, no, I
Hale was
understand.
unavailable.
You say email.
I understand. I knew something that I.
No, you called.
Yes, we are.
Well,
I've got a list here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you got a list.
Get you an agenda.
I'm fed up with the child molesters around this country. I'm real pissed
Let's
off.
see what you agenda.
And I do not believe God will bless us when you guys keep the child
You're
molesters.
anti-Trump. You're anti-Trump.
It has
Okay.
nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with child rape. My whole life.
You're calling Trump a child rape president. Is that what you're calling Trump? Child rape.
Just
You
make-
just said it, child rape. You said I have a child rape.
How long are you thinking?
I'm definitely going back up to December. Go on, Dave.
That'd be right.
Going.
Yeah, I'll send my going to the hero plane.